We're going to inflate the arms, a little bit of space between the arms and the body, and we're going to cup the hands in front of the hips so the wrists and the hips are lined up, almost like we're holding a small ball right in front of our dantian. So we want to be in between the navel and the end of the torso, just holding that ball there. I usually keep my eyes closed, besides the fact you can see the sun's in my eye right there, but I usually keep my eyes closed because they're very dry. If you can keep them open, they should be targeted 45 degrees down in front of you and on a sort of target point. If your eyes are closed, and we inhale and expand the arms to the wrist to the outside of the hips now, and we hold. Even if you have your eyes closed, you still want to have your eyes in a particular portion. Even with your eyes closed, you don't want them bouncing around. So I'm breathing with the lower dantian, bringing it into the spine. Exhale, going out. You can see my body just sort of relaxing and settling into the energy coming in and out, and the way my body is. Any aches and pains and everything rooting through and releasing out as I go. I'm going to inhale here, turn the wrists down and the fingers in towards each other. In Cheng Baguazhang, this would be the tiger descends from the mountain mother palm. It's very helpful for, I believe Bruce Kumar Francis said, helping with like defense in lower sort of attacks. Keep the body, the torso and the arms are still having that ball feel to it. And this will definitely help with that. It's almost like we're about to like push with the palms off a table. Keep your breathing regular. Try and put your inhale and exhale the same amount of time. I like to exhale here and open up. So the fingers are pointing out 45 degrees out from the hips. Palms are still engaged down. We don't want to disengage any of our body. Just kind of let it be limp, relaxed. And empty does not mean limp and void. We don't want limp or void. As I continue to breathe here, next up we're going to inhale, gather up, and wrap around. So in our Zanzhuang, or standing post posture, this is the granddaddy of all postures. This is the one that if you get good at this, you would be super kung fu tai chi master. And this is the one that kind of is like everywhere. You'll see tons of different places and schools all over the place. Shaolin, Wudong, and everyone off of that. This is the sort of granddaddy of all standing postures. Now, any of these I Quan postures you can also manipulate in other ways, different stances, rotating a palm out or in or down. You can expand this practice in innumerable ways, but these are the sort of 8 basic postures of it. And the combination of these and the different stances and being able to move in correct ways is also a way to create internal martial arts, which is why I'm introducing this here with the Yang style. Now, as we exhale here, we change the angle of the forearms, so the elbows and the fingers point at a 45-degree angle. This is to also help with the Pengjing, the ward-off energy, which will be absolutely vital in understanding how to play the energies of Taiji Chuan. Peng is, I consider it the keystone Jing, the keystone energy. You get good at that, and all the other ones can start falling into place. Liu Jing, or roll, is yield and redirect. Just roll back or yield and redirect. That's the sort of Taiji poster child, but helping get Peng will help you understand that. So we expand here, and again, it's a little bit different than what you might find in the I Quan books. This might come after this one, and the next one are kind of reversed here, but it's in an attempt to kind of also help um, it in terms of with the shoulders and everything. This is just like we did lower with the hips, only wrists up around shoulder height, again pointing out to 45 degrees, palms engaged down. So when we move up to the wrists above the head, eventually we're going to turn the forearms in and the palms in. Notice the elbows aren't lifting. This isn't like a karate uh, big upper block or anything. The elbows want to stay down. It's the rolling of the forearms. And you can imagine also like the wrists are being pulled by strings from above. Any of these you can imagine that with. But we want to keep the shoulders down. And the angle of the elbow is imperative in helping keep the shoulders down. Notice it still has that pung energy, that it's like a ball, it's this roundness that goes on, and it's from the back and around. Yong Jun, sort of head of the Yang family right now, talks about the back being like a bow and arrow, and the hands and the fingers are where the string attaches to, but it's that back being able to round that helps create that fullness of the energy in the body. So we've brought the energy up, and we're going to bring the energy back down. Just a moment here. I'm holding a little bit of extra, so it's sort of like two postures here at once. And then you see rotating the hands and the forearms, pressing back down, sinking back down. Now this is, as always, is going to be best able. You can start with maybe 3 breaths. That's in and out, counts as 1. Your breath might be a little bit of different length than mine, which is fine. Everyone has different lung capacity. I've had a long history of a lot of problems and chronic and acute illnesses and all sorts of weird stuff going on with my lungs. So my inhale and exhale are probably going to be different than other people's, but you want to try and make it even as possible. With me, I find I can draw in and inhale longer than I exhale. It's almost like my exhale kind of spills out a little bit more. So I have to be mindful of that. So I come back in here in the Zanzong. And I do that next because I want that pung one that's afterwards to help kind of again relax and ease some of that out of the shoulder as it's been building up here. You can see even though standing still, things are still moving, things are still relaxing, opening up, finding those little tiny bits of relaxation and posture change that are going to help make it more correct as you go. In these stillness postures, there will be movement, and there we go, down, exhaling, releasing down into that pung posture. In the stillness, and there is motion, but as you move and play the moving postures in Taiji, Shingi, or Bagua, you have to find a stillness in as well. So it constantly has that yin and yang going on with you. We're almost done here. About 75% done or so. And again, this isn't necessarily an official routine with this. This is just something I've used for myself and my other students to help with the standing postures, to help increase meditation as we change into that lower palm posture down and pointing out 45s. And increasing rooting increasing the ability to feel and integrate the whole body as one unit, and to practice the Qigong and, like I said, meditation aspects as well. There are other things that you can do as you get more practiced in maybe some of the weirder, more esoteric stuff. And the different layers of things that you can learn off of that is the basic practices are always going to be used and needed. The foundations and basics are never ever going to go away and are always going to be necessary. So we wrap back in again, palms facing down, fingers facing each other, thumbs in by the dantian. This should be about dantian level. If I had a mirror in front of me, I'd probably even up my hands a little bit there. Just as it is, again, there's different injuries and different things you can see. Able to relax one side a little bit more, the other side still needs to kind of open up a bit. Between previous injuries and doing everything else that I do and stuff, sometimes one side's a little bit better than the other. And then that will switch and everything else. It's just being able to be consistent and regular with the practice. Yeah. And we wrap around again, holding almost like a big ball, big beach ball, wrists on the outsides of the hips. Hey, you saw that? I don't know if you saw my left hand twitch there and you notice my shoulder is down a little bit more. Something popped and released. So after this, we've got one more. Consistent with the breathing. Got a lot kind of opening up and moving around in there, you can see. Staying relaxed, keeping the posture going, trying to circumvent old injuries and chronic problems. Things are opening up, moving, and we exhale around, bring the wrists on the inside of the hips. That ball is much smaller down in front of the dantian. Keeping the weight there on the hips. Pretty sure the sun was kind of really bothering me there too. Trying to work through it. Couple more breaths here. Yeah, whatever happened to that arm really leveled out my shoulders more. And we're getting ready to close here in just a moment. Here we go. And I exhale, release. Now I'm going to bring up anything that might be still kind of hunkered in the head or down. We sink down into the lower dantian. A couple more times. Bring up as we inhale up. Exhale, and you can even use imagery to press whatever might be out down. Lower dantian again is the place where everything can be actually stored, as well as helping facilitate move through the rest of the body. Rub to help the focus, again right around the lower dantian, and that just kind of helps me sink and pull in again too. Now I'm rubbing my hands, my palms together. I do this a lot of times when I meditate as well. Take the palms on the eyes, rub up the head, down around the back of the head, and around the jaw and forward. I do this 3 times. Again, if anything is sort of stuck or staticky in the head or moving around, this helps me get it out and down and helps with migraines. Okay, thank you.